Let's get into you dividing the country at some point. You're celebrating, everybody's excited, and then people are dragging you into politics, and let's have that conversation. I started seeing a lot of people getting mad at you that you are advocating for the Cape independence. Let's talk about it.
No, I wasn't advocating for anything.
And people are like, stay away from politics.
Yes.
We all love you, stay away from politics.
No, I absolutely agree. Politics and sports, I don't know. I'm not a politician. What I am is a citizen of this country. And I can only speak on what I experience. That's what I always say to people. People, if they get mad, that's your opinion. I can only say what I experience.
And the new UFC Middleweight World Champion of the World. Is it middleweight? Middleweight.
It is middleweight.
Middleweight. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from South Africa, Dricus du Plessis. How are you doing, my brother?
My man. So good, so good, so good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
How did that feel?
Oh, wow. Remember, it was one judge gave the fight to Strickland, one judge gave the fight to me, then the third judge decides who's winning this. So Bruce Buffer goes, and now you have to wait. Is he going to say new or and still? And still means he's still champion. I'm losing this fight, and new means I'm the new champion.
Yeah.
And I was standing there not knowing, and I was the longest, and he goes, and I'm just say it. It was the most stressful thing in the world, but when he said it, it was the most amazing feeling ever.
Oh, bro.
It was the most amazing feeling ever.
I can imagine the amount of thoughts. If your mind is processing maybe 100 thoughts per second, maybe that day it was processing 1,000 thoughts per second, just for those few seconds, right?
I was just, you stand there and you think, what's he going to say? You stand there and think, wait, did I win? Then you stand there and think, no, I definitely won. And then you just say, please, God, I will never even say a bad word again. No, but it was amazing. It was an incredible feeling.
No, congratulations, my brother. Thank you for making us proud. A lot of us posted. We were for you.
Yes.
We were supporting you, making noise. And I think it was beautiful because we're just coming out of that momentum of the Rugby 100%. World Cup, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I have to say that thank you, every single person. The amount of support when I was there, because I went out 2 weeks before the fight, and just on socials, I just saw you guys, everybody posting and making videos. It was, I'm getting goosebumps just speaking about it.
Yeah.
It was so incredible to represent our beautiful country on the international stage.
I love it when people jump into people even before they become big. People who believe in people. Now that he's big, but before he even was the world champion, a company called Bankso saw a potential in this guy. And they were like, we want to come on board and we're going to back you. So I just wanted to shout out Bankso for, backing up our boy. But number two, shout outs to Bankso. They're out based in Cape Town for making this interview happen. So did you come all the way straight from Cape Town?
I wasn't in Cape Town. I was in Pretoria for this. I'm flying to Cape Town tomorrow. But, just like you just said it perfectly, a company like Bankso, investing in athletes, investing in the future of sports, and investing in a dream, making it possible for all of us. It's incredible because, at the end of the day, as a sports person, without that kind of support, you don't have a career. So, it's just amazing to see companies investing in sports and ultimately in the results, bringing back world titles for South Africa.
Yeah.
Rugby world titles, UFC world titles, Olympic titles. It's at the end of the day, it's about the support. We just saw the country being so, we just nailed it. You look at Bafana just tearing it up. You look at the box. I won a world title. We got a boxing world champion. We just were owning it. South
We're
Africa
flying,
is,
bro.
we are flying, and the rest of the world needs to watch out because we are not stopping.
And shout outs and congratulations for Bafana for that bronze medal. I just want to say, Bangso also has been backing up the boys. Even before we all started to. I imagine you guys like backing them up when they're in fashion, when everybody is. But Bangso, before the Bafana guys were trending, they were like, we are going to be your international official trading partner. So I just want to shout them out for seeing potential. But also, I think what is more important also is communities, guys. Where we come from, you were once a little boy, you were once a kid somewhere, you had this dream. So companies like Bangso and other corporate companies, that's where I believe sponsorship money should be directed
100%.
towards.
And, you know, I understand the benefit of getting the exposure, but what companies like these do is they give people the opportunity to live their dream and to be great.
Yeah. All right. Before we continue with our formal, proper interview, I just want to find out who you are, where you're from, who's this guy? I mean, he's come up. I'm interested in hearing the story. The guys here, they were like, before you guys start the podcast, please, can we have his autograph? We want his autograph on our punching bag. And there's a gold pen. You're a champion, so you deserve a gold one.
Pen, that is.
Yeah, just for our guys, man. We need your autograph here.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And you get the special one because it has to say still knocks.
Guys, zoom in there. Still knocks. Yeah. Can you guys see it? Let me hold it a bit. Zoom in so we see it. That's the $1 million signature right there. You can see it, right? Yeah, no, my team is happy now. Every time they're punching this every morning when the guys are training. The guys will remember a champion and hopefully they'll be pumped up as well. Where are you from, bro? Where did you grow up?
So I was born in the Free State, Welkom, Free State, and I stayed there until I was maybe 10. Yeah, I was nine years old, and then we moved to Hartbeespoort in Northwest, and you know, that's where I spent most of my life. I went to school there, finished my primary school, high school in Hartbeespoort. Then I moved to Pretoria to go chase this dream of mine, and you know, because the gyms were there, and I went to study at the University of Pretoria. And now I still live in Pretoria. It's an amazing place, and you know, obviously traveling the whole world. At the end of the day, I can't wait to go home every single time.
Yeah. When are you guys cleaning the water then, Artis? What happened to the water, guys?
Yes, I have no idea what happened there. It was fine, and then it wasn't. And now, you know, luckily the community is putting hands together to try and because obviously there's it's an expensive job, and you know, with the equipment, and you need the expertise for that. And the community everybody's taking hands together and to try and make it better. Because it's a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place,
Such a beautiful place.
It's just that water that spoils it, you know?
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. It's almost, you can call it a tourist town. You know, on weekends that town is just booming with people because of the dam. So it's a prized commodity for us in Hartbeespoort Dam, and I think I'm happy to see that everybody's doing their part, trying to make it better.
So you grew up in a center just right between Centurion, Pretoria, Tshwane, Johannesburg, Sun City, and Northwest, right?
Yes,
You're just right there in the center.
Right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Everything is close to you.
Joburg was also around the corner.
Yes.
Did you have any girlfriends in Joburg? Did you spend some years in Joburg?
No. Unfortunately, you know, the big city is a bit intimidating for me.
Yeah.
So, I go to Joburg now. I'm here maybe twice a week for. So sometimes I train here with some guys, but the big city for me, it's not for me. I like even Pretoria. When I came from Harties, this small town, going to the city was a big adjustment for me.
Yeah.
To go to the city. I love Pretoria. I love it, and. Joburg, yeah, there's a lot of traffic.
Let's get into the dream. At what age did you know that I want to do it? I want to do boxing for the rest of my life.
So, my love for this started. So I've been training. I started with judo. I started with at the age of 5. I did it up until I was 10. Then we moved away. Then I started with wrestling, but it was always just an extra activity after school because, My brothers did it. It was fun. It was fun. And then I would say at the age of 14, I saw this fighting video. I just saw the videos, and I thought, this is very cool. This is very cool. And firstly, you think, imagine I can beat up everybody. How cool must that be? And I started training. I had my first fight. My brother got me a boxing bag. I said, please get me a boxing bag. And he got me one. And I put it in the garage, and I started training. It wasn't even a month. It was maybe 2 weeks later. There was a local competition, and I just went in and I said, I want to fight next week at the competition, because there was a banner. And they said, well, okay. And I had my first amateur fight with no coaches, nothing. I was training in the garage. And after that fight, that feeling I got going in there, that, you're so stressed, but it's a lot of fun, that adrenaline. And after that fight, I just said, this is the coolest thing on earth. I want to do this forever.
And how old were you at the time?
14.
14?
Yes.
And how were the fights at the time?
Great. I won by a knockout, but it wasn't a very good fight. It just looked like two people
Yeah.
Because obviously I didn't have the skill. I just had the heart at the end of the day for it. But yes, I mean, I fought amateur then, and I started fighting, and then I became a amateur world champion in K1 kickboxing.
Oh.
Yes, as an amateur.
Okay.
And when I was 18. And then I thought, man, this is this big. As an amateur to be a world champion, being a professional is two different things. But I mean, obviously, I loved it. I love this, and I have the ability to be a world champion. So, and then I went to university, but I always had this in mind. I wanted to be a UFC world champion.
The support of the parents?
Amazing. I mean, without them, I wouldn't be able to do it. When I said to them, listen, I'm gonna stop my studies, and because I got a title shot, a fight for the title as a professional. I was 21, and I was so nearly finished with my studies. I think I was in my final year, and I got this shot, and I said, I'm gonna stop studying. I need to dedicate myself 100% to this goal. And they said, listen, you are almost done. And I said, yes, but I have the opportunity now for this belt. If I lose this fight, I will accept that I'm not good enough to be at the highest level. And even it was just a local promotion. But I mean, if I can't be the champion there, I'm definitely not going to become a UFC world champion. And I said, if I lose this fight, I will treat this sport as a hobby for the rest of my life, because then I'm not good enough, and I will finish my degree. And they said, okay. They didn't like the idea, but they've been supporting me. I mean, when I was a kid, they were taking me to all these competitions and giving me all the support. They never missed one match. They were there now when I won the world title in Canada. The support of my brothers and my mom and my dad has been incredible. They support me in anything I do.
I say it all the time, man. I'm like, it's okay to be busy, especially us as fathers. It's okay to just monetarily support and be busy, because you're hustling. We understand you're working, 100%. You're making money to feed the family. But it's extremely far much more important to make those little appearances at the kids' singing competition,
100%.
Little sporting competition, those little things. Do you have kids of your own now?
I don't have any kids.
Not yet, yeah.
Not yet. And that's so true what you're saying. I mean, if I can tell people, my father is my hero. He's the guy that... he didn't miss a single event.
Sure.
Even if I was at the school talent competition dancing, I mean, it didn't matter. He was there and he would drive 4 hours from his work to come and see me perform for 5 minutes. And for me as a kid, it meant the whole world, because I wanted to make my father proud. But it wasn't the support I got. He always made me feel like I can do it. I can be a world champion. And like you said, that's important. Those appearances means the world. I don't know, for me as a kid.
Yeah. And how many are you in your family?
I am the youngest of 3 brothers.
Okay.
So
it's only guys.
Only guys.
You'll get moved in that family.
Yeah. And so I have 2 older brothers and my mom and my dad. So, I mean, it's
What are your brothers' names?
WC, WC.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Willem Christoffel. It's the
Oh, it's Willem,
family.
Christopher, and who?
That is Neil.
And Neil. What's up, guys?
Yes.
Thank you for looking after this guy. We're proud of you.
Yeah,
Actually, this first title is yours.
Yeah, they made me hard. They made me a hard man because I never won those fights.
Because you were the youngest, right?
Yeah. No, it was. I had a great childhood growing up. I mean, it was amazing.
It's beautiful, man, guys. It's extremely important for us to be there for our kids. And I think another thing that plays a very big role in the children's development and them having a higher potential, higher chances of becoming successful is both parents still being there.
Yes.
Right? Your parents are still together.
Yes.
That plays a very big role.
It's in these days, and I feel so sorry for because it definitely plays a role in how you see life. I mean, I'm so grateful for that. The example my parents set, and to have both my parents, because in South Africa that's a very big problem, all over the world. I mean, because it's so important, like you say, for the development of seeing both your parents and having it, and I honestly feel so sorry for a lot of people who don't get to experience that.
May the late great Tata Madiba's soul rest in peace. He had a really big love for children. And I just want to say, I read a scripture this morning, and I was watching a video sermon of the late great Dr. Miles Monroe. May his soul rest in peace. He quoted Genesis 13 or Genesis 14. I didn't even know that it was in scripture. That even if you might be going through whatever you're going through, the future of the Lord is the children. So apparently scripture encourages us that no matter what problems you have, that divorce is not the solution, but unity is, especially for the future of the children.
Yes, absolutely.
So me seeing you sitting here, and me as a parent, that's how I think. I think
100%.
about the parenting. I'm like, those guys have done a great job to produce a world champion.
Oh, thank you so much, and they would love to hear that. I mean, for any parent, that's the one thing you can just try, and for them to hear that they are great parents is great. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's been what, like 3 weeks or about a month now?
Yes, it's about a month.
How has it been? Has it changed your life in some sort of way?
100%. It changed my life in a lot of ways, but it also, for me, it's incredible. It's to see how excited South Africa is about this. To see, I was at a primary school yesterday, and I spoke to the kids there, and to see how those kids, they went ballistic to see this, and to see how the fire in their eyes, because now they also believe they can be a world champion, and whether it's not in the sport, or they also believe they can be the best at something, and it's so important to have that self-belief, or to say, if he can do it, I can do it. We are in the same country, we have the same everything, and we can do it. So it's been amazing to me. I've been so thankful this last month to see the support I've been getting, and to see how people are excited about this. It's changed my life, but in a very good way.
Nice, and it's only still in the beginning.
Yes.
And how does it look like? What's the rest of the year looking like?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to fight pretty not too soon. Obviously, this last year and a half we've been fighting a lot, because I was climbing the ladder, so I wanted to get this opportunity, and now with some injuries, letting that recover, and taking a little break. But I want to fight 2 more times this year. That's, for me, that would be ideal.
Okay. And according to your training processes, and according to your trainers with your previous fights, how much gap would you have in between each fight?
So it's very different, because now as a champion, I can say I want to fight 3 times a year, and you work your way around and say, okay, I'm going to fight in March, I'm going to fight in July, I'm going to fight in December. But before that, before becoming the champion, you have to jump at the opportunities given. So they phone me and they say, listen, somebody got injured. You are ranked number 10 or number 20. Somebody got injured and you can fight, but it's on short notice. It's going to be on. It's going to be in 2 weeks. You as a fighter have to stay ready at all times, because 2 weeks is not a lot of time to prepare for a fight. It's actually, you have to be. I prepare 8 weeks for a fight. to be ready. So if they phone you on that notice and you're still climbing that ladder, you need to jump at that opportunity. That's why I fought so many times. I fought a lot in the last couple of months because I was ranked number 13, and they gave me a shot at number 9. I said, great, let's go. Then it wasn't even a week after the fight, they phoned me and said, listen, we have a fight for you for number 5 in 8 weeks. I said, okay, that's quick turnaround, let's go. Directly after that, they phoned me, maybe 12 weeks later, they say, in 8 weeks' time, you can fight for the number 1 ranked guy. I said, okay, let's go. So obviously in training for all these fights, you get niggles, you get an injury here, you get an injury there. But every time they phone, you have to take that opportunity because that's how I got the ladder so fast. And then, now as a champion, I can have a little bit more of a planned structure to be 100% ready, uninjured, and prepare for every single fight.
And what does the training entail?
So for me, training now, I would train once a day, stay in shape, and work on skills, and sometimes twice a day because recovering from this fight. But then, by now, training twice a day, but it's intensity that differs. So in a fight camp, I'm doing 3 training sessions a day, and that would be between stand-up, the striking, the kicking, the boxing, wrestling, and in the ground, the jiu-jitsu. And then, of course, you have to make some time to do the conditioning, do fitness work as its own, fitness, strength work. So it's about balancing that because you can't do striking every day, but the jiu-jitsu you're leaving behind because now the guys will quickly realize, listen, this guy's not good on the ground. He's just a good striker, so take him to the ground. So that's what makes mixed martial arts. So that's why it's the number 1 combat sport in the world. Because if we are boxing and I take you to the floor, I take you down, you don't have a chance. If you are a guy that's good on the ground and you don't get me on the ground, I wrestle too good, you are in trouble because now I'm standing up. So it's important for me to have that balance, making sure we take care of every single aspect.
And the diet, type of food you eat?
Yeah, so, I eat really good. The big thing is I have to lose weight to get down to my weight division. So there is a diet in fight camp. But, we burn so many calories. It's just about, monitoring it. As you train for a fight, you are burning a lot of calories. So recovery is the most important part of this game. Being recovered after and, preventing injuries. So it's very important. It's not what I eat that's so important. Eating whole foods, making sure you are balanced, getting your a whole balance. Because, a lot of people would starve themselves in terms of to make the weight closer to the fight instead of doing it balanced. And that, at the end of the day, that leads to injuries, that leads to underperforming. So for me, my diet, I eat like a proper South African. That's my biggest problem. It's not I eat healthy in general, but the problem for me is I like a lot of food.
Yeah.
Like we'll get a chicken and I'll eat the whole chicken.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So no matter what you eat, the quantities is the problem for me.
I get you. I love food too. It's like sometimes I'm working out, but it's like, that's why I gotta work out because I love food. And when I eat, bro.
I'll some days go, I'm going to go for a run because I want to eat a lot later. And I'll just go for a run.
Just burn the calories
yes,
and then make sure.
I did a 1 training session just for this one meal.
I need to be rewarded now, yeah. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you plan for the fight. And I know we touched on it earlier, but in terms of studying your upcoming opponent, do you watch their videos?
Yes.
What research do you do?
So we have a very good system in our team because I have my head coach, Coach Monefas, who's, absolutely amazing. He's been my coach. I've been with him since the beginning, 11 years. And then we have some teammates that I'm training with, the other professional guys that are helping me prepare for this fight. So what we would do normally is I would go and watch the fights. I'll make my notes, go watch the last 5 fights of this guy. Look for the same mistakes. Look for just to see how he moves. A lot of people don't watch the fights at all. They don't care. For me, I can read patterns. I can see mannerisms. I can see. I've been watching fights since I was young, and a lot of them. I think I might have watched every fight that there's ever been, and I can see, okay, this is a place where there's a weakness he has. This is something he does very well. So be prepared for that. And obviously, we don't plan around our opponent's game plan. We focus on our own. So I make the notes, what I think. I look for mistakes, reoccurring mistakes. I look for all those kind of things. And then I say, okay, I write down, what do I think is a place where I can exploit this guy, where I see his weakest points are and his strongest points. My coach does the exact same thing. And then some of my teammates, they do the same thing. So we watch the fight separately to not be influenced by each other. And we make our notes, something we see, what he does good, what he does bad. Then we get together and we speak about it. Then we see the things then we watch the fight together and say, okay, we all seeing the same thing. Then we look at the things where we are similarly what we are witnessing. And then we say, okay, so we all agree, this is the perfect game plan, this is the best game plan. My training partners need to imitate this style, do this, and then we develop our game plan for how to beat that style. So yeah, we have a very good process of everybody's expertise.
This one was quite close. You did really well, but it was quite a close fight.
Yes.
What was your strategy?
My strategy in this fight, I didn't think it was that close as the judges said. It was purely because my face looked bad. In that first round, he caught me with a lot of jabs. So our game plan in this fight going in, we knew Strickland likes to go forward. He's a pressure fighter. He doesn't punch very hard, but he uses quantity and he just walks down his opponents. So we knew that we are going to Uno reverse and do that to him. And that's why you'll see in this fight, I walked forward the whole time and he was going backwards. And that's why he got tired, because he's not used to that. But obviously I had to use the leg kicks to get him, because his jab's very good, to get him off that jab. And that's why from the third round, I was taking it very calm the first 2 rounds, and from the third round, our plan was go for it. And by the third round, his jab wasn't landing so many times because his leg was kicked. I kicked his leg and his leg was compromised. So the game plan, I followed it perfectly. It worked well, but at the end of the day, he is a world champion. He was the world champion for a very good reason. And that's why anytime you're gonna fight for a world title, it's gonna be a tough fight. So it was, and I'm glad it happened that way. So it wasn't a quick knockout where people can say, "Oh, he's lucky he caught him." It was, I proved that I had to fight for that world title, and all the years of sacrifices and waking up early and everything that I've done made that small difference that gave me that world title.
Will things change moving forward? Do you think now being a world champion will put in more pressure on you? Do you think it'll be more difficult now?
I always put, the one thing with pressure for me is I put a lot of pressure on myself. If you're walking out there with that South African flag, I'm a massive sports fan. I love sports. I'm walking out with that flag. It's the proudest thing I can do, to represent my country on the biggest stage in the world. And it is a massive privilege that I have, but it's also a massive responsibility, because this is showing the world, look at us, look at South Africa. This is what we can do. And that is a lot of pressure. But that pressure is what pressure makes diamonds at the end of the day. That's the kind of pressure, I love it. It makes me, the bigger the moment, the more I feel there is no room for error. So you have to go out there and make your country proud. You promise them this title. You go out there and you go get that title. And now as I'm defending this belt, there's going to be a lot more pressure, I'm sure. But it doesn't matter to me, because I will outwork anybody that I'm ever going to face, and I'm ready to defend that belt and keep it on home soil.
And we didn't did we have a South African UFC champion before? We didn't, right?
We have never.
So this is the first time our flag is there.
It's the first time in history that South Africa. Yeah, and now I've on the title, I just got the piece of the title where the South African flag is on, and it is the most amazing thing to see. a South African flag on that title. It's amazing. It's the first time in history.
It's beautiful. Your life has changed forever because next to your name, there's just that world champion title for the rest of your life.
And the South African flag for the rest of time.
South African flag will be in the UFC forever,
Forever.
right? So you've just made history.
It's amazing.
It's bigger than we think. Jesus, that's beautiful, bro. And what do you think it's doing to the young kids out there that would like to, or that see boxing as a potential sport to pursue?
I see kids' eyes lighting up. And like I said, I was at that primary school, and I see it, and and they go, I want to be like that. And yes, everybody's not going to be a fighter. I understand that. Being a fighter is very, everybody can't chase that dream. And now you have to go and say, what are your chances of becoming a world champion? There's 8 world titles, I think, in all the weight divisions. There's only 8 people on earth that can hold that belt. I think it's 8 now, or maybe 10 on earth that can hold that belt. But what this did is, if you want to go the route of being a MMA fighter, sure, then now it's possible. I can see in kids' eyes, they believe now they can do it. If you want to be the best chef, for example, you now believe you can do it just by seeing me become a world champion, seeing somebody. It's not about the fight. It's about, the fight's a great metaphor for fighting for what you want. It's about going out and getting whatever you want, whatever you set your dreams to, and that is what I see. That's amazing to see kids in their eyes thinking, now they, for the first time, maybe think, I remember when I was a kid, the first time they think about what it must feel like to be a world champion, what it must feel like to be the best in the whole world at something. And it's not necessarily fighting. It's not necessarily sport even. It's just about anything you do it with passion and try to be the best in the world at it. And that's amazing.
And it's big globally. I mean, MMA is huge. But how big is it in South Africa?
It's huge now. It's huge now. I mean, it's been growing for the past 10 years. The local promotion, UFC, that's really delivering massive talent. That's where I started my career. And they are the biggest organization on the African continent. And they do international fighters as well. And it was growing. And the last year, I would say, it absolutely exploded. I think if you can ask any South African right now, they know the UFC, and they would say yes.
I think every generation has to make it better for the generation coming after. When you were coming up, you didn't have a South African representative of a champion role model that you'd look up to. You probably looked up to older champions or people from other sports or international guys. But now you've changed that, because kids that are growing up, at least they can see somebody who comes from home who is one,
100%.
right?
Now it's possible. And it's an amazing feeling to have.
Now let's get into you dividing the country at some point. You're celebrating, everybody's excited, and then people are dragging you into politics, and let's have that conversation. I started seeing a lot of people getting mad at you that you are advocating for the Cape independence. Let's talk about it.
No, I wasn't advocating for anything.
And people are like, stay away from politics.
Yes.
We all love you, stay away from politics.
No, I absolutely agree. Politics and sports, I don't know. I'm not a politician. What I am is a citizen of this country. And I can only speak on what I experience. That's why I always say to people, if they get mad, I mean, that's your opinion. I can only say what I experience. And there's one thing that everybody needs to know. That we have one communal goal here. Every single person. We love this country. I love this place more than any place on earth. I love the people. I love our culture. I love everything. South Africa is the greatest place on earth.
I agree.
100%. I've been.
I totally agree.
I've been to a lot of places on earth.
Same here.
Everything is for the love of this country, and we have to realize that. And look what we can achieve when we unite. It's amazing. My opinion was, I wasn't advocating for anything. My opinion was asked, and I gave it as a citizen, not as an educated politician, not as anything. I'm a sports person. I love representing my flag in sports. I was simply answering a question as what I experience it like as a South African.
And so maybe just to be clear, are you an ambassador for Cape Independence? And what is Cape Independence for those who don't know?
No.
Or it just so happened that because you know what may happen on social media,
Yeah, no,
Photoshops
I
and all
am
that
not
stuff.
an ambassador for.
Oh, okay,
No,
okay, okay. Just to
no,
be clear there.
No, nothing. I don't actually know the relation to it at all.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Because I think some of the images gave an impression
What
as if
what were these images?
Cape Independence.
Yeah.
People are advocate. I think there's a certain group in the Western Cape that's advocating for separating the Western Cape from South Africa and having it as its own independent country.
Yes, yeah. No, I know about this, but no, I'm not a.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm not a ambassador or anything about.
I'm glad you cleared that out.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And maybe let's talk about that comment as well, where people were mad at you for, and some people are celebrating. It's like he's telling the truth, where you're saying you're not happy about the current government.
Yes, I mean,
Because it's the election year, right?
That is I mean, I didn't even take that in consideration. For me, it didn't matter. I was asked a question, and that is what I was referring to. At the end of the day, I was asked a question, and I gave my experience as a citizen of this country. That's the whole story of it. There's nothing more to it. How I experience it, and yeah, sure. I mean, any opinion that you have, people are going to sometimes say yes, that's great. Some people are not going to like it. For me, I said what I said, and they asked me, do I regret it? No, I don't, because I was speaking the truth and I was speaking from my heart, and I love this country.
And for those maybe who didn't see the clip or that interview, what did you say? What was the question?
I can honestly not remember. They asked if what is the government like, and I mean, I think it. I can't remember the question clearly, but I mean, people can go search it. There's the whole thing. I can't remember the exact wording, but yeah, I mean, I spoke from my heart and what it felt like, and it was just a general conversation. But yeah, people can find it. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. But it was. I mean, people said that I wasn't representing South Africa good. Some people, I said,
come on.
I was, and that. Am I using my platform for the right things? Yes, because I love this country. And that's the only thing that matters.
Now, you have just been ushered into the bigger spotlight because you've been on a come up. With everything that has happened over the past couple of weeks, even those types of interviews, now people debating them, are you starting to feel like, okay, is this how it's like now to become a celebrity?
Yeah, I guess.
Because you're becoming what is this, famous, and you're getting on a microscope. 100%. Every little thing you do now is getting scrutinized.
Yeah, I spoke to my mom about that because I was quite a naughty kid growing up and everything else.
And I'd say and do all sorts of different things. Nobody cared.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said, everybody does these things, and I told my mom, listen, there's gonna be probably some things that's gonna happen, and it's gonna be filmed and I'm sorry, but I can't change who I am. I said, right now, the only thing that happens, it's bad now because now people are filming you the whole time, and you're under spotlight 100%. So at the end of the day, I'm a person just like any other person. I make mistakes, and I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I make mistakes, and I try to be better every day. So I had to take in that mind shift of saying, listen, I'm not gonna change for this because that's not who I am. I'm going to stay the Dricus that I am. I want to, because, we are all people and we all are going to make mistakes. So now mine is under the spotlight. So be it. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. And that's just a fact of the matter. At the end of the day, we can just try to be better every day.
Attention from the opposite sex?
Yeah. But
the old exes have started calling now.
Like,
I knew you'd make it. Congratulations. Coffee 100%. Would be nice.
Yes. I was so wrong. I'm sorry about that. No, it's been good. I have a beautiful girlfriend that supports me, and it's great. I mean, it's important because it's easy to lose yourself in a lifestyle, and for me, it's very important to try and stay as grounded as possible, and stay with the people that were there from the beginning. That's an important part, because when this happens, you find all of a sudden you get a lot of new friends, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, I knew you'd make it. Somebody you haven't spoken to in years. No, 100%. It's a reality, and for me, having the right people around you, like my parents, my brothers, my friends, my team, my coaches, the people who've been there, who keeps me in a place where sometimes, because like I said, I'm a person that's going to make mistakes. Sometimes you might not even see through a fake person or a situation, and you make a bad decision, and you have to have those people around you to remind you who you are and help you in these situations.
Yeah. Let's talk about the money. Is the money worth it?
I always tell people this: when people look at the what I have now, they look at the fame, they look at the money, they look at all that, and of course, everybody wants that. It's amazing. The thing is, I always tell people this: only if they ask me what is my advice to young fighters coming up.
Yeah.
If you don't love this game more than anything else, you will not be able to go all the way. Because yes, you come to the UFC and now you're getting paid, but leading up to it, it's really hard. It's hard to make a living, especially if you have a family to look after, and as a local fighter. It's getting better because it's getting bigger, but that all just comes, it's like seeing the tip of the iceberg. That all just comes at the end. It's years and years of sacrifice and not getting paid money where it seems worth it. It's survival, and then you have to be able to stick it out. And there's only one thing that can drive you. The fame will wear off quickly. The money will not be good for a very long time in the beginning, and for a very long time, and then you'll get when you do that breakthrough, that's when it all pays off. So that's what I say. You have to believe in your dream, and you have to be so passionate about this that nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. It's nothing. You don't think. I don't think about the fame. I don't think about the money. I only thought of being world champion, and that was what drove me every single day.
Didn't you have some moments where you kind of wanted to give up this thing, maybe having financial problems?
Yeah,
maybe you're winning
absolutely.
some fights, but the money is still not that much, and you keep on going all these years, and maybe you're concerned from your parents or girlfriend, and
Yeah, 100% thinking about that. Especially I lost one fight, and I thought about it. I thought, listen, I'm starting to get near my prime, and financially, I'm not in a position to, and I threw all my eggs in this basket. I'm not trained in anything else because I gave everything I have into this career. What if I don't make it? What if I don't make it? What am I going to do one day? How am I going to, what work am I going to do? Because, like I said, I stopped studying to pursue this dream. And I thought, am I going to start studying again? You get these doubts, and I just told myself these doubts were always, I prepared myself beforehand that one day these doubts will come in. And I was winning fights. I was winning in a winning streak for 6-7 years. And I didn't get the opportunity to fight in the UFC. I still wasn't seen. I had 3 different titles in organizations all over the world. And then just one day, the call came. And looking back at it now, the best thing I've ever done is not give up.
that's great, and that is so true, my brother. On that come up, on that winning streak, 5, 6, 7 years or so, what's the biggest, this is before UFC, what's the biggest check that you'd say, okay, it looks like this thing, at least there's something, like there's somewhere where it's taking me? And are the checks in dollars?
Yeah, yes. So
Or in rands?
no, locally it's in rands.
Okay.
But as soon as I got my first contract to go fight in Europe, in KSW, it's the biggest organization in Poland, and that's when I thought, okay, this is looking better, a lot better. This is the next step into the right direction of finally getting to the UFC. So you have to understand, there's a lot of promotions in the world that feed the UFC. So think of the UFC as the Springboks. So all these different, we have all the provinces playing, and they are playing trials the whole time to get picked for the Springbok team. So that's what the UFC is. It's all these organizations, thousands, and then they are at the top, and they pick and choose the guys that they think are worthy of fighting in the UFC. So you need to be on the international scene everywhere and fight and making a name for yourself, so their scouts or they hear your name and say, let's sign that guy. So when I moved up to KSW from only fighting locally to fighting in Poland and it's a Polish organization, but fighting in Europe, I knew that was going to be a step in the right direction, and financially and for the rest of my career. It gave me a second lifeline, if you can call it that.
And give me the number. What's the biggest check you got before UFC?
I don't like to talk about
I know, but I want the youngsters to hear. We're not talking about your current check.
I think I can tell you what the highest number was that I got fighting locally, and it was, I just want to make sure. And it was a lot of money for me, but you have to take into consideration you can only fight 3 times a year maybe.
Yeah.
And I got 165,000
Rands.
rands.
It's not that much.
That's not much.
Because you got your agent.
So now you have to
got expenses.
You've got expenses.
Sometimes when you're going overseas, you're paying for yourself. Right?
Divide that by 12. Now you're getting to a position where you understand what I'm saying.
And then you've got the tax man.
And I mean,
side,
I was I was the champion. So yes, but it's getting better for the guy.
It requires a lot of sacrifice, eh?
It's a lot of sacrifice, and that was in that time in the sport, that was a lot of money. Like people weren't getting paid that. I was the champion. I was the number one in the organization. So that's why I say it's getting better, because we spoke about banks earlier. People investing in the sport, and that makes it possible for people to go. And like I say, if you earn that money, to sustain a family is very hard to sustain. And now you have to your expenses because then you have to buy supplement stuff. Luckily, like a company like USN, for example, now they help us out, our whole team, and our team, the up and coming fighters. We have an incredible pro team, and now they don't have to. Guys that are sitting in a position where they are still chasing this dream, and being able to make a living from it, they don't have to spend their 3,000 rand a month on supplements, because now these companies look after us, and it seems like nothing having supplements for the month. For an athlete, it's very, very important for your recovery to be able to perform. And it's incredible for companies like these to go out and help out the aspiring athletes, and that played such a big role. But that all happened now that the sport is becoming more relevant.
Yeah.
Because at that point in my career, I thought, it was hard, and that's a lot of money if you get it, great. But like you said, there's a lot of expenses going around with this too, and having to, and at that stage, you fight as a champion. Maybe that year you get injured. You're fighting once a year. After all your expenses, you don't even have half of that.
But you're a champion.
You're a champion,
and you've got other people thinking you're a multi-millionaire because you're a champion.
Yes, but in terms of that, that's why I'm saying, if the money and the fame you are chasing, it's not sustainable. What is sustainable is having a dream and chasing and doing what you love.
This podcast is for hustlers, and most of them are small business owners. Still talking about the money issue, but not actually figures. Now that you're a champion and somebody on your level, and all the other guys that you're still going to fight with, how does the money get allocated, apart from the tax man? Like your team, your agent, tell me about that, because I come from a similar industry, but obviously music industry and entertainment. So you've got a whole team that you have to look after. Your management, your stylist, 100%. Your videographer, blah, 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 blah.
So in how it works, generally you have a contract with your agent, just like anybody else, and they would take a cut. They would take their percentage. Most cases, around 15%. Then you have your coach that has a 10% cut. You have your cornerman that gets paid to be there because it's their time to go with you. You have 100%, like you say. Then you have your dietitians. You have all of that. And so at the end of the day, when you get paid, you have to take that in consideration, the percentages, because you have all these people that, and now, so I mean, paying my coach is for me is a pleasure. You know, what he has done for me means everything, because without him, I wouldn't be here. You know, and nobody likes to pay an agent. it's one of those things.
But they've got work to do.
They've got work to do.
They make you a champion.
100%. So, and at the end of the day, with your expenses, you are looking at how I see it, what I do. What am I spending my money on? I'm spending my money and I'm investing it in myself. I'm investing in the best foods. I'm investing for my body, investing in dietitians, investing in new equipment, and at the end of the day, investing in your teammates, because the better they get, the better you get. And that's what I always tell myself when I have to buy something expensive, quite expensive. Let's say I want to install a sauna. And I look at it, I go, do I need a sauna? No, it's not going to be the end of the world if I don't have it. But is it going to make me 1% better? Yes. And with this last fight, we saw how close it was. That 1% can mean the difference between winning and losing at this level. So investing in yourself is such an important part. Not just investing in your wealth, not just investing in just your relationship. Investing in yourself in general as a life rule is very important. How you spend your time. Because obviously there's a lot of people and attention here and attention there. But who are the people that gives me energy? Who are the people that deserves my energy, who loves me truly, and who's been there from the beginning? Spending time with my family gives me that experience where I feel better. And then, of course, investing financially in yourself and your future and your kids and your family, even though I don't have that yet. But investing in that, and then, of course, investing in my career, because that is the important part. A lot of people, they get their money, cool, I'm buying a new car, this, but they forget to invest in themselves, because as a sports athlete, myself is what got me this. You always have to remember that. So investing in that, in my health, in my recovery, in that is not an expense, it's an investment.
And have you started having chats with financial advisors or maybe your parents about investing in the future?
100%. And once again, I'm very, very thankful for that. My dad and me and my brother, he's a lawyer. So, you know, I have the right people and obviously financial advisors as well, because as a sports person, you have to realize one day this is stopping.
Yeah.
And I think I feel so bad because it happens to a lot of sports people in our country. You see, in the world, in our country, in the world, everywhere. I've just heard so many stories of people that I know where you get paid now as a sports person, great. So you get to a certain lifestyle, but you have to ask yourself, can I uphold this lifestyle when 10 years from now, when I've been done fighting for 5 years? It doesn't help you can uphold it for 5 years. You have a long time on earth left. So, and not getting yourself used to a certain lifestyle that you can't uphold. Starting a business, getting the right people around you to start a business that one day when you are done is already, because I always tell people, my business is, I start small. Like my gym, start small, because the only thing I said is one day when I'm done, now it's massive. It's doing great.
Oh, so you've got your own gym?
Yes.
Big up, bro.
Thank you.
That's dope. That's beautiful.
You.
Okay.
And it's awesome. I mean, our gym started now. We have 15 employees at this place. It's amazing, and the team. It's awesome to see that. And we have almost 400. We have 400 members almost. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And this obviously over the past since the UFC fights got better. But now we have a business. But I started to run this place when I was 20 years old. I started so small, only had 20 guys allowed that I coached myself because I was professional, so I was coaching for extra money and to try and develop a team as a development team. And I mean, I was so bad at it because I didn't have any system. I didn't have any knowledge of owning a business. I mean, I only had the guys pay me with cash, and it was a ridiculous small amount. And then I would have a paper some months, and I'll be like, this guy, has he paid me? I'm like, oh, maybe he paid me. I didn't even get after. I think there was a time when nobody even paid for the gym, but we had a team sponsor that kept the lights on. But I started running this place and to develop fighters, and those people are now part of our pro team.
Nice.
Guys, I started coaching my brother. He is as a professional record now. It's crazy to see. I mean, Cameron Simon, the other guy, I coached him at 13. He's now in the UFC.
Oh.
So I mean, it's
Okay.
awesome to see that system going. So
Your gym is producing.
it's producing. That's the thing, and that was always my dream. So that was a little bit off topic. Sorry, but then starting that business small doesn't matter if it's not getting money, as long as it's not taking and eating your money. Just start it. So when you are done and you give, because any business, anything you do, if you don't give your attention to it, it's not going to grow.
I get you.
That's not how it works.
And where is your gym?
In Pretoria.
In Pretoria,
In
where?
Pretoria. It's in Hatfield. In Hatfield, Pretoria. It's CIT. It's CIT Performance Institute.
What is it called? CIT Performance
Institute.
Okay.
So it's Champions in Training Performance Institute. And, we have a massive kids class. We have while the kids are training, mom and dad class with different coaches. So, and we do fitness and strength work. And then you don't have to fight if you're there. And then we have a boxing gym who's boxing oriented only. And then we have an MMA side, a jiu-jitsu side. So this started so small. And then we started getting bigger and bigger. So my idea always was, once I can start focusing on my business 100%, then I already have a business. I don't have to start it up. I don't have to start getting, and so that's the thing. Just start it.
Is it open now for membership? Are
yes,
you guys full?
100% open for membership.
How much is the joining fee?
So that's the one thing. People always ask me, what's the joining fee? We have so many different fees.
Oh, it depends on what
So you can
the interest is.
You can do. That's the great thing about this Plesis. How I always envisioned it. A lot of people don't train, and that's the other thing. Just get people moving. It's so awesome to see people that were very overweight, for example, and they come to the gym and they're part of the family now, and you see them 2 years later, it's a different person, happier, healthier. It's awesome, and that was also a very big a part of me that wanted to start that, because people are unhealthy because people aren't training. And then I thought, why are they not training? I love training. Why are people not training? I understand people are busy, but 1 hour a day and you are sorted. And then I realized why. So let's say you're someone who's never went to the gym and now you're getting overweight and your doctor even says you have to go train. What do you know about training? What knowledge do you have? So now you have to go on the internet and you get this program and it says do crunches there, bench there. You don't even know what that is. So that makes it, to educate yourself takes more time than the actual training. And then I said, in our gym, there is no one that walks in there and does weights by himself. We have everything with a class. So we have class time. So you have a professional person with a certificate working with a group, training with a whole group, with like-minded people that want to lose weight. There's a pro class, there's a beginner class, and then there's purely a fitness, like for the parents while the kids are training. Because now you have to take a time out of your day to go train and take your kid to class. So we made the training classes for the parents at the same time while the kids are doing their martial arts training. The time slot, we have a coach that's doing the parents' fitness, conditioning, strength. So that is the one thing. So now you don't have to worry about the knowledge because there's someone with the knowledge that helps you there.
And what's the gym's website?
Excuse me?
The gym's website?
It's www.citperformanceinstitute.com. We're on all platforms, social media-wise. And, whenever. So we do a free trial week if anybody ever wants to come. And I promise you will love it.
How does the future look like? And what do you think, or who do you think is your next fight?
I think Israel Adesanya is going to be my
Yo!
That's the one.
That's going to be a big one, bro.
I want that fight. The people want that fight. And, yeah.
We all want that fight.
And in an ideal world, we want that on home soil. That will be.
Yo. Easy and you in South Africa. Yo.
That's what we need, man. That's what we need.
Yo. That's going to be a big one, bro. Are the guys working behind the scenes to make that one happen?
We are trying. We are talking, definitely. And I think that's what the people want to see, and that's what I want to do. I want to fight the best guys. This is an entertaining sport. People want to see the fights, and like I said, Who do I want to fight? I don't care. I'm the champion. I'll fight whoever they put in front of me.
Yeah.
But what I want in my heart is to fight the guy that people want to see me fight.
You think you're gonna trap Easy?
For sure.
He's gonna murder him. You're going to divide the country, bro. You see, that's the thing. Like sometimes you get international Euro soccer teams coming to play in South Africa. They divide the audience because you've got the guys supporting our South African teams, but you got the guys saying, "I'm Manchester all the way," even if they're playing in South Africa. So you're gonna have a lot of Easy fans. We're gonna be there rooting for you, but that's gonna be a very, very big one.
That's going to be massive, yeah. No, 100%. Then, yeah, I mean that's what we are entertaining people at the end of the day. That's part of our job. So getting people excited about it, it's amazing.
Before we finish this one, I'd like for you to look at the camera and speak to Easy. What message would you like to convey to Israel over there on that camera over there? Speak to him.
So you claimed you want to drag my carcass around in South Africa, as you said. So be a man of your word and let's do it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Easy versus Dricus in South Africa 2024.
That is the one, my man.
Love you, bro. Love you, bro.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man. Before you leave and before you get up, I'd like for you to look at the same camera. Let's speak to young Dricuses out there, the young DJ Smooths out in communities, in townships who are still dreaming, who are still, you and I 10 years ago, 15 years ago when we were still coming up. What would you like to say to all those young dreamers out there?
Never stop dreaming. Never stop chasing that dream. Never stop working. That's the thing. You can dream all you want. If you're not putting in the work, it's not going to happen. But never stop dreaming, never stop working at it, and whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve no matter what it is. No matter how ridiculous it sounds to other people, don't let the world tell you what you can and cannot do. You can do anything you want.
Champ, we love you. Thank you for your time, man. God bless you, man.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Dricus du Plessis, ladies and gentlemen, world champion, not just champion, world champion.
I have this Bankso shirt for you. I can sign.
Ah, is that mine?
That is yours.
Oh,
indeed.
thank you. Shout outs to Bankso guys for making this one possible. Once again, Bankso, shout outs to you guys for believing in the guys even before. You believed even in Bafana before they got into the bronze, and it's fashionable to support them now. But you guys are official Bafana global international trading partner.
Right there, man.
Yeah, there they are. Show them the Bankso sign also over there. Nice one. Yo.
Wow.
I can't wait, for Easy versus Dricus. Yo. Love you, my brother. God bless you.
Man. Love you too. Appreciate it.
See you guys on the next video.